Episode 3. Welcome to the ItthiJit podcast. I am YARATA, AI artist and sound producer, and the creator of the ItthiJit System. In a chaotic world, the human mind needs precise tools for returning. In this episode, I have commissioned an advanced AI to analyze the core of the ItthiJit system, decoding our two essential tools: Human Pulsecore, the raw, heavy frequencies designed to stop the flood of thoughts, and mantra frequencies, the high vibrations that fill and elevate the spirit. This is science, not magic. Let's hear how the AI decodes this system.
I want to start today's deep dive with a little experiment. I want you to close your eyes for just a second. Unless you're driving, of course. Please don't do that. Just a low, deep hum from the back of your throat.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing it.
Now, normally, when we make a sound like that, what do we think it is? Maybe a musical thing?
Yeah.
Or, clearing your throat?
Or if you're into meditation, you immediately think, oh, right, it's chanting.
Yeah.
It gets filed under ritual in your brain.
Exactly. But here's the big question that our whole discussion is based on today.
Yeah.
What if that hum wasn't just a ritual? What if that specific physical vibration was actually a highly sophisticated piece of biological technology?
It's such a fascinating premise. We're so used to thinking of tech as something external, a phone, a watch, an app. But the source material we're looking at today just flips that completely on its head.
It really does.
We are diving into an article called The Roots of Resonance, how S.N. Goenka inspired the ItthiJit system.
And just to set the stage, for anyone who might not know the name, S.N. Goenka is a titan. You could argue he's the single biggest reason Vipassana meditation came out of the monasteries and into the global community.
Oh, absolutely. He made it accessible. But this article by an author named YARATA, it's not a biography of Goenka. It's not really a history lesson either.
No.
It's an origin story of a totally different kind.
Yeah.
It's about how this historic encounter with Goenka led Ray to develop something he calls a digital sonic shield.
It's basically where ancient wisdom meets modern sound engineering. So we're talking biohacking, but not with, supplements or ice baths. We're biohacking with resonance.
And that's our mission for this deep dive,
Wow.
to unpack that journey. How do you go from a silent, hot meditation hall in Thailand to a digital audio file designed to protect your nervous system?
It's a wild ride,
Yeah.
and it starts in this very specific, very intense place, the Dhammakanchhanaburi Center in Thailand.
Right, which is important context. If you've never been to a Vipassana center, especially in a place like Thailand, you have to picture the atmosphere. It is not a spa.
Not at all.
Kanchanaburi is known for intense heat, intense silence, and just this really rigorous, disciplined practice. It pushes you.
And Ray YARATA, the author, he takes us back to this one specific moment there. He calls it the historical spark. And this wasn't just any old day.
No, not at all. This was the last visit of the great master, S.N. Goenka, to his disciples in Thailand before he passed away. So the energy in the room that Ray describes it's not just respectful, it's heavy. It's charged with this feeling of, finality.
The end of an era. And what I found really interesting is how Ray describes his own position there. He wasn't a journalist taking notes or an outsider looking in.
No, he was a practitioner, and that distinction is just crucial. He talks about absorbing the energy and receiving a Dhamma transmission.
Okay, let's pause on that phrase for a second. Dhamma transmission. Because to some people, that might sound a little esoteric, a bit woo-woo.
Yeah.
What are we actually talking about here?
In this context, it's not magic. It's about direct experience. Think of it like this. You can read a textbook on how to swim. You can study the physics of it, but that's completely different from being in the pool with an Olympic coach.
Right.
Ray is stressing that his insights didn't come from a lab. They came from a visceral, physical experience he had in that hall.
He felt something in his body.
Precisely. He felt a shift. And that feeling is what kicked off this whole ItthiJit system. He apparently spent years just trying to decode what happened to his own biology in that room.
I love that. It's like reverse engineering a spiritual moment to find the actual mechanics underneath it.
Exactly.
But before we get to the tech, Ray lays out this philosophy that I think is really important. He talks about respect and roots, but he takes a really hard line against what he calls idol worship.
He does. And it's refreshing because you see it a lot in these circles. This tendency to deify the teacher. You light the incense, you bow to the photo, and you feel like you've done your part.
But Ray says that's not it.
No. He talks about Pektubat, which is practice as offering. The idea is that the highest form of respect isn't worshiping the teacher's image, it's keeping their methodology alive.
That's a powerful distinction. Worshipping an image is passive. It's easy. Keeping a methodology alive, that sounds like work.
It is work, and he's very specific about where the work happens. He says you have to keep it alive in every cell of the body.
Wow, so not just remembering it in your head, but physically embodying it.
Right. And this is how Ray sees himself. He's very clear that he didn't invent this truth. He's not trying to be a new guru. He sees his ItthiJit system as a delivery system.
A delivery system, like a new interface for an old operating system.
That is a perfect analogy. The source code, the truth of nature, the Dhamma, that's ancient, it doesn't change. But the interface, the way we access it, that can evolve, and maybe it should.
He's trying to make it functional for today, not just something we admire from 100 years ago.
Exactly. Which brings us to the core discovery. The thing that bridges the gap from the meditation hall to the modern world. The master's hum.
Okay, this is the bit that just completely blew my mind. We've all heard chanting, go to a temple, a yoga class, whatever. You hear that deep, droning sound. Usually I just kind of tune it out. It's atmosphere.
Most people do. But you have to remember, Ray's background is in audio engineering, so he was listening with, let's say, a different set of ears. He analyzed Goenka's chanting, specifically that deep, low-frequency hum he was known for.
And he didn't hear a prayer?
No, he heard a tool. Ray's theory is that this hum isn't religious, it's functional. He calls it a sonic shield, or a biofeedback shield.
Okay, break that down. How does a hum become a shield? That sounds like something out of science fiction.
Well, it comes down to the mechanics of what he calls chest resonance. Ray explains that when a master chanter hums with a specific intent from the chest cavity, it generates a physical vibration. We're not just talking about sound waves hitting your eardrum. We're talking about waves physically traveling through your tissues, your bones.
So it's tactile. Like when you're at a concert and you're standing near the subwoofers and you can feel the bass in your chest.
It's a similar principle, yeah, but with a totally different intent and frequency. He describes this vibration as something that literally wraps around the body.
Like a cocoon of sound.
A protective cocoon, exactly. And he says it has two purposes. First, it acts as a shield against external noise, chaos, other people's stress. It creates a buffer. But second, and this is the real biohacking part, it actually wakes up the internal organs.
Wakes them up, like a cup of coffee for your liver.
Kind of, more like a tuning fork. Think about how sedentary we are. We sit all day, our posture's terrible, our internal organs are pretty stagnant. This resonance, he says, it's like an internal massage. It stimulates them from the inside out.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, we know sound is energy. If an opera singer can shatter a glass with a high frequency, then a low frequency has to be able to affect soft tissue.
100%. And Ray takes it even further. He calls this frequency a language.
A language between what and what?
Between the mind and the body. He frames it like this. The mind is the commander, and the body is the receiver.
Okay, and for most of us, let's be honest, that relationship is completely broken.
Oh, totally dysfunctional. The commander says, go to sleep, and the receiver is like, nope, let's think about that embarrassing thing you said in 2008.
Or the commander says, focus, and the body says, I'm hungry, my back hurts, and look, a squirrel.
Exactly. There's a total disconnect. Ray suggests that this chest resonance is the bridge. It's a signal the body understands instinctively. It bypasses the intellectual brain and speaks directly to the nervous system. It lets the commander and receiver finally sync up.
So the hum is like the Bluetooth pairing code that reconnects your brain to your gut.
That's a great way to put it. It pairs the mind back to the body.
But here's the problem. And Ray points this out, and it's definitely my problem. I can't chant like SN Goenka. I don't have decades of training. If I try to do that deep hum, I run out of breath and I sound like a sick cow.
You and me both.
Ugh.
It takes incredible control. And that's the barrier to entry, which is exactly why Ray engineered the Human Pulsecore.
Right. This is the digital evolution part.
Yeah.
So what is Human Pulsecore really?
It's the digital heir to that natural organic hum. Ray realized that modern people need this protection, maybe more than ever, but we just don't have the skill to generate it ourselves.
So he made a recording of it.
He synthesized it. He used modern audio engineering to recreate those very specific low-frequency waves. He built an audio track that simulates the sonic shield effect.
That's incredible. So it's democratizing the result without demanding all the years of practice.
Well, let's be careful. It doesn't replace the practice. He's clear on that. But it's a tool for accessibility. It lets you tune in and create that protective feeling just by listening. It helps you get there.
Like training wheels for your nervous system.
Or an exoskeleton, If your muscles are weak, it helps you walk until you can build them up. This digital shield holds the space for you so your body can learn what that resonance is supposed to feel like.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not a shortcut forever. It's a tool to accelerate the learning curve.
Precisely.
Now, I want to pivot to the medical side of this, because whenever you hear vibration and healing, my skeptic alarm starts to go off a little. It's very easy to slip into sound bath, cheer cancer territory. But Ray's actually very grounded here.
He is. He's extremely pragmatic. The whole goal of the system is self-mastery, not magic. He has this rule that I think everyone should just, memorize. If the doctor is better than you, go to the doctor.
I love that. It's so blunt.
It just cuts right through the nonsense. He is not rejecting modern medicine. He's proposing a partnership.
Between who?
Between you and your doctor. He says the goal of this resonance training is to train your mind to be detailed enough to talk to your body. Think of it like a body scan meditation, but in high def.
So instead of just going to the doctor and saying, I feel kind of off, you can go and say, I feel a specific blockage right here in my lower left abdomen.
Exactly. It's like taking your car to a mechanic. If you just say, it's making a weird noise, they have to guess. It takes time, money, trial and error. But if you say, it clicks when I turn left going over 40, you're helping them solve the problem.
You become the expert on your own internal hardware.
Which you should be. You live in it 24/7. Ray argues that when you know your own internal landscape, you become the doctor's best partner. You make decisions based on internal data, not just fear.
Which is incredibly empowering.
It really is.
Okay, so the concept is solid. The history, the philosophy, the biology, it all lines up. But now we have to get technical, because Ray makes a really, really important point about how you listen to this.
Right. This is the audio engineer in him coming out, and for him, this part is completely non-negotiable.
He says you can't just pull it up on YouTube or Spotify. Why? I mean, if it's a sound, why does the platform matter so much?
It's because of what he calls the compression problem.
Okay, explain that like I'm 5.
Right. When you stream a song or a video, the file is made smaller to save data. To do that, the algorithms chop off information they think the human ear doesn't need. That's usually the super high frequencies and, crucially, the super low frequencies.
Because they assume you just want to hear the melody or the words.
Correct. They're optimizing for small file size, not for data integrity. But for the ItthiJit system, the magic isn't in the audible melody, it's in the subperceptual vibration. And that's the first thing the compression algorithm deletes.
So the very thing that makes this work is the thing the algorithm throws in the trash.
That's it. That's the whole problem. He argues that compression cuts out the specific sound waves you need for the rewire process. The body gets a partial signal.
It's like trying to scan a smudged barcode. The scanner, your body just can't read the code properly.
That's a perfect analogy. You get the gist of the sound, but you don't get the instruction. So Ray insists, for the sonic shield to actually work, you have to have the uncompressed master files.
Which means WAV files.
Yes. The WAV format keeps everything. It preserves that full dimensional vibration that your body needs to feel.
It's a quality over convenience thing. You can't biohack with low-res tools.
Not if you want it to actually work.
So if our listeners are intrigued by this, if they want to try this sonic shield for themselves, where does Ray send them?
He's very specific in the article. It's not the App Store. It's not a streaming service. He directs people to his Ko-Fi shop.
Ko-Fi. That's KODO-FI.
That's it. Ray YARATA on Ko-Fi.
Let's spell that name out so people can find it. It's a bit tricky.
Good idea. You'd search for R-A-Y space Y-A-R-A-T-A and then K-O-F-I, Ray YARATA Ko-Fi.
Got it. R-A-Y-Y-A-R-A-T-A K-O-F-I.
That's the one. He advises you download the master WAV files directly from there. And his instruction is super simple. Put on a good pair of headphones and start training the mind immediately.
Don't overthink it. Don't analyze it for weeks. Just start.
Just start the scan. Feel the vibration.
When you zoom out on this whole journey we've taken today, it's really something. We started in a sweltering meditation hall in Thailand. A very analog, very human moment.
Watching a master teacher in his final days.
And we went from there, through this philosophy that rejects empty ritual, into the actual physics of a hum as a biological shield. And we ended up with a digital WAV file in a pair of noise-canceling headphones.
It's such a synthesis of old and new, and I think it proves something important. that these ancient sounds, chants, hums, bells, they weren't just holy or mystical in some vague sense.
They were functional.
They were technologies. They were tools designed to regulate the human nervous system long before we had a term for the nervous system. And now we have the tools to decode them and, apply them for modern life.
It makes you wonder what other rituals from the ancient world are just lost technologies waiting to be decoded.
It really does. But I think the main takeaway here is that it puts the power and the responsibility back on us. Well, this whole concept of self-mastery, it leaves you with a really provocative thought. If your body has a language, if it's constantly broadcasting this data through vibrations about your health, are you actually listening?
That's a tough question.
Or are you just waiting for it to scream in pain so you can hand it off to a doctor to translate it for you?
Are we just passive passengers in our own bodies, or are we the pilots?
The ItthiJit system seems to suggest we should all be grabbing the controls.
And I think that is the perfect place to leave it. Don't be a passenger, grab the controls, and maybe listen to the hum. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next one. Stay curious.
And that is the analysis of the ItthiJit system. But here's the truth. Listening on streaming platforms compresses the audio, causing some vital energy to be lost. For Human Pulsecore and mantra frequencies to work perfectly with your body's cells, you need high-quality source files. I, Ray YARATA, have prepared the uncompressed master files .wav for you at my Ko-Fi shop. Search on Google, Ray YARATA, paragraph, Ko-Fi. The text will appear on the screen for you to read, or click the link in the description to download these tools and install them into your mind. Don't just listen, evolve. See you in the next frequency.